Welcome, viewers. Syed and I are here again to talk about our broken, fractured democracy. Every day we are headed towards the elections, and elections are an epic event in any Western democracy. We have a bipartisan system. We have two parties, which actually is one party. They have proved it time and again in different packaging. So our choice is like when we talk, we realize that our choice is between Burger King junk food or McDonald's junk food. That is our freedom. Like you want to die eating that trash or you want to die eating that trash. That is our choice. So your political choices are between these two trash. Now we have seen that after the dismal performance in the first debate between Donald Trump and genocide Biden, Democrats forced him, Nancy Pelosi, who's the evil mother of the Democratic Party, she forced him to get out of it, and they installed Kamala. They want to rise. There is no platform, there is no people in mind. They want to rise on the factors that Kamala is a colored woman. So it suits them very much. They pretend to be liberals and they pretend to be favoring women, even though time and again we have seen they don't. Anyway, so they promoted Kamala to this point and everybody's rallying behind him. Obama, who's the father of this evil war, thing that has started, and, it has always been going on in America, but from Obama, it has taken a new turn. Neo-war, criminals started building from there, even though Bush and Reagan and all those, they did whatever they did. Anyway, so Kamala, I can tell you now, she is twice, if not more, as vicious as Hillary. She's going to put this world on fire. She's the perfect recipe for the Third World War, which will take us to the brink of the whole world's disaster. So that's what Democrats have in the. She's pretending she's a very, very vicious and ambitious woman. How she destroyed the voters and the residents of California in incarceration and petty. She was the worst, woman who against the people in California. From there, she rose, she came here, and then now she's here. She's pretending, she's the crocodile tears that she feels Palestinians' pain. But then again, everyone here has to beat Israel's drums. The way Democratic Party has treated Netanyahu when he visited here, like next to God. Like Netanyahu was their, sole provider. That's how they treat it. This is where our democracy is headed. The system is being, circumvented to somehow continue this war machine going on and on and on. Biden started two wars which have seriously fractured not only US democracy, but democracies all over the world. This has been America's model, remove anyone who opposes you, no dialogue, no negotiation, no, adjustment, just remove them. They removed the Ukrainian leader and they installed this joker Zelensky, who took Ukraine right into the war where they destroyed Ukraine and Ukrainian people and European Union. And now America is at the brink of that destruction that came from those two wars, Ukraine war and the Israeli war. Israel is unstoppable now, and Americans are cheering him and supporting him and providing him taxpayers' hard-earned money with their blood and sweat, when it is very, very difficult for Americans to meet their ends. Two people working two jobs cannot really run a household respectively. We are giving billions of dollars to these warmongers and war criminals. And we are cheering more. All democratic leaders, supposedly, who were supposed to cheer democracy, they are doing this and they're causing more and more damage to our democracy. Now, what do you have to say, Syed, so we can move this further?
So, as you know, you gave a very good overview of what's happening right now, a brief overview. Um, so what I see here is basically, as people noticed in Democratic Party, I think this was a very wise move for them to remove Joe Biden from the race. First, he did not seem, physically and mentally able and fit to run for the elections. And as you saw that in the presidential debate, it was basically very disappointing for the Democrats and the people that and their supporters as well. So I think what they're trying to do is basically because Democrats have lost so much, have lost a lot of support from minority voters and especially Muslim voters across America because of
That's misplaced, but still, yes, they do.
yes. So
and I want to point out here that Trump's performance was not great either. His performance was dismal, but Biden was more dismal. And Democrats removed him not for people's benefit, mind you. They removed him for their own benefit.
Exactly.
Their benefit. If they had removed him for people's benefit, they would give other Democrats a chance. They brought, Kamala, who's a woman, in, Obama and Biden in disguise in Kamala. And we still have to see the Democratic convention and Democratic platform, if there will at all be any primaries. But by then, I think Kamala would have gained so much momentum that I don't think any Democrat is strong enough to come and oppose her.
So foremost is that, of course, Kamala was the only person that was, that could tap into the funds because it was a Kamala and Biden campaign. So they had 100 million, and successfully, it seems like people are sort of buying that new painted face of Biden, which I would call Kamala, that they've brought in front to cover up for all the crimes and that have been committed under the Biden regime. So basically, the campaign funds have gone up from they were 100 million to beyond 300 million now. So which I believe that people are sort of seeing this as a positive development because if you look at Kamala, like you mentioned, right, she's a woman, she's black, she's Indian, she's a minority, has
and
been,
it's so ironic she's seen as liberal.
Yes,
not liberal at all.
She's been 4 years in the White House. And she's married to a Jewish man. I don't know if he's a Zionist or not. So she fills in all the right check boxes, right? To sell in front of the people and to the voters, right? But I think what voters need to think is, who is Kamala, right? She was the right-hand person of Biden administration that was committed, that was partner, to the most brutal genocide that has ever happened in the modern history of the world. So she was accomplice to this with Biden. So that's what people need to think.
She may have been a planner of this.
Exactly.
She might have been involved in the planning of this one.
So she was a part of the same government that was, encouraging and supporting and abetting Israel to conduct all these,
providing all the resources,
yes,
from weapons to money, moral support,
yes,
everything.
So
or immoral support, I should say.
I think it's a mask. It's basically, Biden wearing the mask of Kamala and coming into power again and running for the election.
And this is so unfortunate and ironic for our democracy that so many people in this country think that 4 years of Biden, Obama was pulling the strings behind the scene. How unfortunate it is that your president, who is the leader of the free world, is a puppet to another former president who was a warmonger and a corporate president. Now you can see every day that this election is becoming more and more corporate. It's the billionaires running the election. Billionaires are deciding the policy. They are making policy statements and they are supporting the candidates. Now, candidates' struggle is that whoever can collect more billionaires, and AIPAC is one of them. So they all put their support behind Netanyahu and AIPAC, so they can get some campaign dollars. It's very, very unfortunate time for our democracy here.
Now, look at the irony, right? When Netanyahu came and he spoke at the Congress, with all these congressmen, when he addressed them, I believe it was 80 of the Democratic congressmen that did not go, and they sort of boycotted his speech.
And I'll tell you why they did it. It's not, the hypocrisy is at its best. Their constituents do not want to see that. They would have loved to go because AIPAC is giving money like anything to them. And all this is, again, we have talked several times about Citizens United. If you remember, when campaign financing became unrestricted by the Supreme Court of the United States, since then, money has been deciding our democracy in our elections. Yeah, please continue.
So one thing I think the voters that they need to see is, and I think this information is very public as well, they need to see, as you mentioned, these sort of hypocritic games that they're playing, right? They need to see which of these people that, even though they boycotted that Netanyahu speech, how much funds they're receiving from AIPAC. It's very simple, clean and simple, approach that you can take. You just need to see it's public information. Which of these congressmen are taking, funds from an organization that's promoting and enforcing the interest of a very small nation of very vile and very vile citizens and people that are enforcing their interest on the United States of America. Some people have gone beyond, and they're now saying that it's United States of Israel, because we don't matter. It's only AIPAC that matters. We don't, the rights of our citizens don't matter. The healthcare of our citizens don't matter. Social security of our citizens does not matter. What matters is what AIPAC tells us to do. So
and people, the citizens don't have to do much. They have to go to a platform that all these lawmakers and legislators want to shut down, TikTok. Because it is not in their control. That's where you can get information. Who is getting what from AIPAC? What is AIPAC doing? What is AIPAC doing to our democracy? How is Israel damaging United States and United States democracy every day? They say that if you want to find the voice that is on your side, see who is trying to shut it down. You will know. You will know, or you'll get all the information. So go watch those little 30-second, 1-minute video that college kids are putting there after doing their research. You will know everything what is going on.
So, Ziad sahab, what I'm going to ask you is basically, you've seen how Trump is blaming a woman who replaced Biden and was running for the president, and calling her as a Jew hater, or she hates Jews or something, even though she's married to a Jew. So these double games that are being played, right? It's like, and then on the other hand, Kamala Harris is saying that she has a soft corner for the Palestinians all of a sudden, even though she was a part of the government that abetted the most brutal genocide in the modern world has ever seen. Now, these are the things. Then, while the Republicans are going on a slight defensive mode now, because they see someone who's slightly more competitive and fills in all the right checkboxes, has come and is challenging Donald Trump. And at the same time, Kamala Harris, showing a soft corner for Palestinians in the middle of all this that's happening right now in the US political arena. Netanyahu goes in and he does surgical strikes in Lebanon and in Iran being the big one, violating their airspace and killing Ismail Hani. So who was seen as a very influential leader. He was a very powerful man, a very strong speaker, but at the same time he was a politician in the background, and he was trying to open doors for a ceasefire, and he was doing the negotiations behind the scene. So this attack and killing him, this is a signal given by Israel to the US politicians that we are not interested in any peace deal. This is how I see it. and we will continue, until we get the job done, and until we completely decimate all the people in Palestine, and we take over that area completely. So this is how I see it. But what I would like to ask you is, how would that have an effect on the current dynamics of politics in the United States?
Yeah. Syed, I want to stay focused on our fractured democracy.
Yes.
International scene has become, because of these incompetent US leaders, it has become so complicated. We cannot really figure out what is going on. All I can tell you is US completely on board, and Israelis are consulting United States before doing all these things.
Okay.
Attacking anyone in Iran, which we have portrayed as a symbol of evil, So what we are doing is we are distracting our voters from internal issues to external issues. So I want to focus here. Now, I have said it many times that our greatest strengths are our biggest weaknesses as well. Trump is an outsider. Trump doesn't stick to a script. He doesn't cram. He speaks from heart. This is his strength, and this is his biggest weakness. He speaks like an idiot sometimes, and that becomes very damaging. US press, US society, we as voters are very, very facile and superficial. To prove that a political leader is very family oriented, they bring their reluctant wife and children on stage, and they, forcefully kiss them and hug them, and they want to show people that they are very family oriented. So we are that facile and superficial. Now, Trump saying that she's a Jew hater because he wants to win Jews' support. Jews are influential, Jews have money, Jews control a lot in this country. And after, as I said, Citizens United, money has become extremely, extremely. So Trump has to say anything. He doesn't think about that. Kamala is not a Jew hater, she's a Jew lover. Well, from marriage, she's married to a Jew. She has to hate her husband anyway, regardless of what he is. But she doesn't. This Palestinian thing that she's doing is absolutely fraudulent. She has no soft corner. 4 years she was on board. She was part of that genocide. She's never said anything until she got nominated. And then giving a lame statement like, oh, I feel this and blah, and doing nothing about that. A nominated party candidate, extremely, extremely powerful. Their one statement can change us in any international. They can, replace international leaders. They can topple governments. They can do a lot. We are living in the most powerful country in the world, most resourceful country in the world. Kamala has been vice president for 4 years. She did nothing. You find me one statement which she sincerely extended in favor of Palestinians or in favor of stopping this war. Nothing. US does not want to stop this war. Biden was brought in to start these wars and get there. Trump was removed because he was not starting any wars. He was not outside United States. Even for the United States, Trump's biggest strength was that he did not start any wars. He absolutely opposed the wars. But Kamala will continue, and she will escalate these wars. She is making big promises to war industry. She's continuing on the path of Obama, Hillary, and Biden. So you don't see our politics is marred by hypocrisy and these weak, spineless, greedy leaders. Our democracy's one of the biggest factor that is weakening it, that has made it fractured, is the greed and hypocrisy of our leaders on both sides. Okay, Trump and Bernie Sanders rose to, stardom or that important level of importance that they did because they were outsiders and they had a voice that resonated with people. Bernie Sanders was politically killed by the Democratic establishment because they did not want a person who was for people. Republicans, whatever they are on the surface. They tell you whatever evil they have, you see that. Democrats' evil is behind the curtains. You don't see that. They're very, very hypocrites. Even though these are hypocrites as well, but Democrats are, they appear to be, and they tell you that, oh, we are for you and all. That's why stupid minorities vote for them, and they get damaged every time, but they still go and vote for them. So both of them are into this, and both of them are damaging our democracy day in and day out. The day is coming, we will see that. Do you have any final words?
I would just like to say that when you are choosing a candidate and you go out and vote in your constituency, I think it's about time that Americans should look at the money trail for their campaign. Like where the money is coming from, who are the major parties that are contributing towards their campaign, and if those parties are representing the true American interest, American and only American interests, and then go out and vote for those people that are actually representing the American interests.
Which means wherever these people are taking money from, whether it's APEC or whether another vested interest group, they will be protecting their interests and not American people's interests. Thank you very much. We'll come back with another. We will continue this until the elections, at least, and we will keep telling you different factors. It is our responsibility as citizens to do whatever we think is the right thing to do and support the person we think will protect our interests. Thank you very much for being with us. And until then, and next time, thank you.